Let's be real. We're all kind of looking for that perfect energy drink, right? You know, the one that gets you going, keeps you sharp, but doesn't give you those awful jitters or that 3 p.m. crash. Well, there's this traditional South American drink that's been making some waves, and it comes with some pretty big promises. Today, we are diving deep into the science behind yerba mate. I mean, just listen to this description. It's often talked about as having the vitality of coffee, the health benefits of green tea, and the joy of chocolate. Wow, that is one heck of a trifecta. It's basically promising the best of all worlds, all in one cup. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this all just really good marketing, or is there some solid actual science to back these claims up? That's what we're here to find out. So let's start by looking at what's really going on inside that traditional mate gourd. To really understand yerba mate, we have to pop the hood and look at its unique chemical makeup. Because that feeling it gives you, that smooth, focused, sustained energy, it's no accident. It comes from a very specific team of compounds all working together in harmony. It turns out that unique buzz isn't just about caffeine. Now, caffeine is the main event for sure, but it's got two really important backup singers, theobromine and theophylline. Theobromine, that's the stuff in dark chocolate that gives you that nice, mellow, feel-good lift. And theophylline actually helps relax smooth muscles, which contributes to this overall feeling of calm focus. I love this analogy. Think of it like a band. Caffeine is the high-energy lead singer, jumping all over the stage, grabbing your attention. But theobromine? That's the cool, collected bassist in the back, just laying down a smooth, steady rhythm. It's that synergy, that teamwork, that gives you the sustained lift instead of just a chaotic caffeine solo. Okay, let's tackle the biggest misconception about yerba mate, like right now. You might have heard about this special compound called mateine. The story goes that it's a unique, jitter-free version of caffeine that you can only find in mate. It's a great story, but it's basically a case of mistaken identity. So this is the idea of mateine that's floating around out there. And look, it makes sense why people thought this up. It was probably a marketing term to explain why drinking mate feels so different from coffee. The logic was, hey, if it feels different, it must be a different molecule, right? Well, the science tells a much simpler story. When chemists actually isolated this mateine and put it under the microscope, they found it was just caffeine. Not a sister molecule, not a slightly different version. It is chemically identical to the caffeine in your coffee. In fact, if you look it up in scientific databases today, mateine is just listed as a synonym for caffeine. Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? If it's the exact same caffeine, why on earth does it feel so different? And the answer brings us right back to that band. It's not that the caffeine molecule is different. It's the context. It's the other compounds it comes with. And this unique chemical blend doesn't just affect your energy. It turns out it might also affect your metabolism. Yeah, beyond just the buzz, yerba mate has been seriously studied for its impact on our metabolism. And we're not talking about some vague wellness claims here. We are going to look at the hard data from a top-tier clinical trial. When it comes to scientific proof, this is the gold standard. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. I know, it's a mouthful. But it basically means the study was designed to be as unbiased as humanly possible. Nobody, not the participants or the researchers, knew who was getting the real stuff and who was getting a fake. And the fact that it was published by the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, gives it some serious weight. So here's how they set it up. They took 30 subjects with obesity. For 12 weeks, half of them got yerba mate supplements, and the other half got a placebo that looked exactly the same. And here's the key part. Nobody changed their diet or exercise habits. So what happened? And boom, here are the results. Just look at this chart. The placebo group, pretty much no change at all in their body fat mass. But the yerba mate group, you can see a clear, measurable, statistically significant decrease. The difference is just undeniable. So to put a bow on it, the study confirmed 3 huge things for the people taking yerba mate. They saw a significant drop in their total body fat mass, a significant drop in their percent body fat, and a significant improvement in their waist-to-hip ratio. I mean, these are really powerful, clinically proven results. Okay, so with all this evidence in our back pocket, let's do it. Let's put yerba mate in the ring with its main rival, coffee. How do these two heavyweights really stack up head-to-head? First things first, let's talk raw power, caffeine.
An 8-ounce cup of drip coffee has, on average, about 95 milligrams of caffeine. Yerba Mate is right on its heels with about 85 milligrams. So yeah, they are definitely in the same weight class, way stronger than black tea, but coffee does pack a tiny bit more of a punch in each cup.
Now, this image full of squiggly lines might look a little technical, but it gives us a perfect peek into why mate feels different. It's a chromatogram, which is basically a chemical fingerprint. You see that huge peak? That's caffeine. No surprise there. But notice all those other peaks? Those are other compounds, like chlorogenic acids, powerful antioxidants that are linked to all sorts of health benefits. It's a great visual reminder that you're not just drinking caffeine water, you're drinking a complex plant extract.
And all of this chemistry leads to a totally different feeling, a different experience. Coffee gives you that fast, hard-hitting jolt. It's like flipping a light switch on in your brain. Yerba Mate, with its buddy theobromine acting as a muscle relaxant, it gives you what people call a sustained lift. It's a calm, clear focus, without the jitters, and most importantly, without that harsh crash a few hours later.
Okay, this all sounds pretty fantastic, right? But it's totally fair to ask about the potential downsides. What's the catch? Is yerba mate actually safe to drink on the regular? Let's get into the big safety questions. First off, let's go straight back to that gold standard NIH clinical trial. Their final conclusion wasn't just about whether it worked, it was about whether it was safe. And they stated it very clearly. In their 12-week study, yerba mate did not produce significant adverse effects. Everyone's vital signs and blood work stayed perfectly normal. But, and this is the big one, what about that reported link to cancer? This is probably the biggest concern you'll find if you start Googling yerba mate. Some older studies suggested a connection. So what is the real story here? Okay, this part is absolutely critical to understand. More recent and detailed research has shown that the risk isn't from the yerba mate leaf itself, but from the incredibly hot temperature at which it was traditionally consumed. We're talking scalding hot. The World Health Organization has actually confirmed this, saying that drinking any beverage, coffee, tea, whatever, at extremely high temperatures can increase the risk of certain cancers. So the problem isn't the plant, it's the preparation. So after digging through the chemistry, the clinical trials, and the safety data, what's the final verdict? Where does yerba mate stand as your potential daily go-to for energy?
Let's just boil it all down. 1. The science totally backs up that yerba mate gives you a smoother, more sustained energy boost thanks to that unique tag team of caffeine and theobromine. 2. A high-quality clinical trial has shown it can have real anti-obesity effects, helping reduce body fat. And 3. It's loaded with other beneficial compounds, making it a genuinely nutrient-rich alternative to a lot of other drinks out there. So we'll just leave you with this to chew on. Maybe the choice of what we drink to get through the day is about more than just getting a quick jolt of caffeine. Maybe it's about finding something that not only energizes us, but also nourishes us. Could rethinking that daily ritual be a small, but pretty powerful way to support your overall health? It's definitely something to think about.